Each tag inside of TopView has a lot of options as far as how the alarm can alarm. So if you'll notice, you'll have each tag you click here on the right side, you'll be able to set descriptions, which is this description is just a user-friendly description for the tag overviews. You can set formats if they're analog tags. When we use analog tags for display, you can set the formats. You can even place units inside of here. The row ID is what it uses throughout the software for things like reports and snapshots and things like that. So I highly recommend just setting the row ID to the name as the tag name. You can set it custom if you want, but if you right click in here, you can tell it to set the tag name for all of these as the row ID. And that's typically the way I configure this. So if you go to this alarm, you'll come through here. You can set a priority here. You can set this as a tag group, and that's the best way to be able to create all your call groups inside of one tag group. The alarm limits have a lot of different settings, but most of these you will not use, but the custom alarm message is the one that you typically want to use. So if you check this, this will show that your custom alarm message will be what's showed up inside of your viewers and also inside of your call out or your notifications by text or email. You can set an individual schedule for this, but I would recommend setting the schedule through the call out groups. You can also set colors for how it's going to show up. This is the label that's going to show up on the screen. I usually use alarm for every one of these, but you can set it custom. And you can change the priority either here, which would change the priority for all the limits, or you can change the priority here, which makes each limit have its own. So that would be, let's say I have an analog alarm and you want to do a low, low, a low, a high, and a high, high. You could do each one individually. You can set each individual notification here, but I would recommend that you set the notifications through escalation or either through the email SMS groups or the voice groups, and I'll go through that in another video. The same thing goes for resends. I would do all of that through those settings, not through each individual tag. One of the greatest advantages of this that Skate Alarm used to have, and since Skate Alarm has been gone, that competing softwares don't have anymore, besides TopView, is the delays. So you can do delays and you can do expirations as well for each individual alarm. The limits you can also set up as ORs or ANDs, and you can also disable the alarms or snooze the alarms, also called shelve the alarms, for any amount of time or indefinitely. There are several different settings over here as far as advanced notifications go and acknowledgement settings, options, custom responses, output points. There are a lot of different options every single tag has, and I won't go through a lot in detail, but the ones I will go through will be the acknowledgement settings, which show here's acknowledge on return to normal, which is one thing that many districts disagree on. Some like for it to acknowledge automatically on return to normal, some do not. So this is where you set that at. And this is where you link your input and your output acknowledgments with the HMI. This is really easy to do through the bulk import export utility through CSV. So I wouldn't recommend typing these in here. I'd recommend just doing them through CSV and doing a search and replace and copying each one.